I'm Joshua Skid Pro. Today we're going to do our quick start guide on our pickup broom. Pretty simple attachment, but a lot going on when you're in the cab you can't always see. We've got some pointers that I think will get you up and going quicker and enjoying your attachment faster. Come along, let's check it out. Here's our curb sweeper or gutter brush that can mount on either the right side or the left side. We use the chain to adjust the height. Right now it's in the storage position. You can run the broom with this up as we just did, and we have it shut off so it's not turning when it's in the up position. Of course, it doesn't hurt it to turn if it's in the up position, but that's how we can adjust this. The adjustment is quick and easy. Simply lift up on the head, run the chain through, and select your desired height. Now, one thing we need to remember on the curb sweeper is when it starts in motion, it has a tendency to splay out. So you need it lower than you think you will once you're up and going. You can see here we have slack in that chain, and that's necessary. The broom will be able to push and bounce up, and it'll follow the contour of the ground as long as we have enough slack in the chain. The gutter brush works with the bristles only in one direction. Predominantly, we run with the sweeper going forward, pushing the material up and over into the bucket. If the broom is going backwards, when this is running, you'd simply switch the male and the female coupler, and then it would go the opposite direction, and you can use your gutter brush. But again, the gutter brush only works when it's going in one direction due to this valve block. Here's where we adjust the speed of our gutter brush. It's a simple manual rotation valve. We just simply open it up. Left is open, allows more flow through to the gutter brush, faster RPM. Takes a little trial and error to figure out what speed you like. Once you've got the desired speed, you take this second bottom dial, pull it up into the main dial, and then it's locked. Here's our spray bar and nozzles. We like to keep this up high. That protects it from any obstacles from the ground that you wouldn't be able to see in the cab, and it gives it a better spray pattern. This runs off of a 12-volt pump. We use a Deutsch plug here. It runs back. It's got a 10-foot lead with our cigarette lighter and a single toggle. I like to keep them up a little ways so that inline fuse and that joint is up out of the way. Then we simply pull them in. Here's our cigarette lighter. Plug it right in. And then I put that cable right in my lap or along the side, and I can flip it on when I need it and off when I don't. The one thing you do have to be aware of is when you raise your loader arms to dump, and we'll see that a little bit later, you want to make sure you've got slack in the cord so you don't rip those out or pinch it at any point. Here's our quick set hood adjustment. Instead of messing around with wrenches and locking nuts and seize bolts and all the other junk, we have this, which you can do a single person operation very quickly. So we simply tilt forward on the bucket. That puts the pressure on the hood. That brings me off my stop right here. And then I simply change to my desired depth with the pin configuration. Do that on the other side and we're set to go. 30 seconds. I almost forgot the grease points. Hinges on both sides that connect the bucket to the hood and the offside bearing. Okay, we're hooked up to the QT plate. We got the couplers hooked up. We routed the electrical for the water kit along the line, zip tying it all the way with the hoses for protection, all the way up to the end of the couplers. Then you can see we ran it here through the window. I've got my cigarette lighter plugged in. And I've got my switch right here that I can easily grab. I'm driving with this hand, so I can just reach over and grab that. You can put that wherever you like. We'll start up. Okay, on the broom to start, what I like to do is I go down First of all, I'll get my hydraulics on. I'm gonna lower my bucket until I feel it hit. I'm gonna raise up a little. I'm gonna tilt forward, and I could just feel a sponge there. That means I'm on those bristles, and I didn't hear a clunk. So the bucket is actually up. You want that cutting edge up off the ground. You don't need to be scraping. In most situations, you don't need to be scraping that bucket, and you don't want that bucket to be scraping against the ground. So we are actually we just threw some P-rock down here, which is probably one of the harder things from a weight standpoint that you'd be looking at. So we'll go ahead and take a couple passes on this. So I want to lock into continuous flow. If you've got a machine with continuous flow, if you don't know how to, check your manufacturer. For the Kubota, it's the right circle. Now my bristles are running forward. Again, that's maybe counterintuitive to some, but you want those bristles to go forward, up and around, and then dump the material into the bucket, especially when you have dust and smaller particles. So I'm going to go ahead and throttle up. About 7/8 throttle. Again, I'm going to put down till I feel it. I can feel it, and I can hear those bristles hit. So now I'm going to go. Slower the better to start. I'm going to just take one swath of this P-rock here. There you can hear it cycling in. It's pushing against that skirt and up and around and over the top and dumping it in. Always best to start out slow when you're learning a new attachment, and the slower you are, oftentimes the better that you'll sweep, at least to start. There you can see, nice and clear, cleaned up the dust, cleaned up all the heavy P-rock, didn't leave anything behind. So here we're going to do it again. There you go, I can feel the bristles. I didn't hear anything, so I don't have my bucket edge on the ground. I just want to keep it right up off the ground. And then the bristles, I'm not putting too much down pressure, but I'm putting enough to do a nice job of sweeping. It's nice to have a spotting partner to start because you can't see how level that broom is. We don't want that skirt super crunched down. We just want it touching with the bristles just touching the ground. There again, we cleaned up all the rock. Everything looks really good. We cleaned up the dust. Now we'll go ahead and do a pass with the water kit. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down until I'm just a little past level. There I feel the bristles again. Turn on my water kit. And now I'm spraying and I'm reducing the dust. Water suppression is a big deal in a lot of places. Sometimes where you'll pick up naturally as that bristles are pushing everything forward. I'm going to shut off my water kit there, but there you can see the water kit did a nice even job and got everything nice and clean. You can see here we've got a little ridge of material left. Again, that's because I was pushing that material forward and eventually I had to stop and pick up. Now if you want to go ahead and pick that up after the fact, what I like to do is drive forward. Now I'm going to reverse the bristles and I'm going to go past my pile. I'm going to set the bristles down in the same manner, but this time I'm going to sweep them right back into the bucket. So that's, if you were up against a wall or an obstacle, that's one way you could do it. I'm going to sweep then, driving backwards. So now in the Kubota, I run the left button and now that's turning the bristles this way, towards me. So I go past my pile. There I can feel and hear those bristles. And there I hear all that material coming in. Now I did leave a little behind, but there was some real heavy material. So we're gonna go ahead now. We'll turn the water kit on. And I'm gonna go a second time. I'm gonna put a little more down pressure. There you go. There I got a little more down pressure. I tilted forward beyond where I could feel it, just a little bit. And sometimes if there's dips in the concrete, you gotta kind of put a little more aggressive tilt and get those bristles further down. Here's some really solid Class 5. I'm gonna slow down. It's been pressed in by rain. There you can hear it coming in. So it'll even pick up these heavy rocks and parts of Class 5. There I go down a dip. I gotta tilt forward just a little bit. There you go. You can see how nice of a job it did. Cleaning up that really caked on dirt and big rocks. Now let's go ahead and adjust our gutter brush and do some curb sweeping. And it's running. We'll go and sweep some gutters. Again, we put a lot of slack in that. It's at the very end of its chain tether. So we want to make sure my broom is tilted back enough that the gutter brush isn't on the ground. There we got my 7/8 throttle again about. We just went ahead and threw some dirt in the trench and some heavy wet sand, or in the gutter, sorry. Okay, so we just threw some heavy sand in the gutter. Now we're going to go ahead and, again, same thing with the broom. There I can feel the gutter brush. I heard the gutter brush first and I can feel the broom hit the ground. You can see there barely, it's kicking up material, you know it's working. When I'm doing a lot of heavy material like in this, I want to be nice and slow, make sure it's really grinding it out. That obviously can get really packed in with rain and the like. There, we're cruising along. We got her at pretty much everything else chewed out of there, so. Simple as that. There's our sand from another time. So we'll go ahead and push that to that point. Now we'll go up over the top. You're going to see a little ridge there that was left. There you go. Now I'm going to go over the top of that. The gutter brush is still down. That's okay. Raise my bucket a little, and then I tilt it forward. A little bit of a dip there, old street. That happens. Go over that again. I put a little more down pressure. Let's see, we got that. Now let's go ahead and stop that. We're going to go ahead and show how to empty out the bucket. Essentially just manual. So we're going to go ahead and raise it up. This is where I want to be careful of my cords coming in. Let them come by me. And I help feed them out. right around that inline fuse. Unplug my water from my accessory plug real quick. You don't have to go this high, this is more for viewing. There you can see, and it just comes right out. I like to give it a little tap. Get those weeds out. You can see we've got some blue bristles there on the ground. That's okay, that happens right away the first time you use it. And after the first couple times, they're really good about sticking in, but that happens no matter what bristles you got. Polysteel, you lose a few to start. So there you have it. I hope this gets you enjoying that attachment sooner. Any questions, you give a product guru a call and we'll be happy to help.